Hello, Vitaly. How you doing?
Hi, Helen. Hi, Helen. Thank you very much. Your pronunciation for my surname is so great. So thank you very much.
I practiced it just before.
Thank you.
First up, important question. 20 programming languages. That's impressive, I think, by most people's standards. Which programming language did you write the book about?
Well, I wrote a book about Haskell. It's called Haskell in Depth.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
so you've not just taught for 20 years, but you've these 20 different languages. What would be your top study tips for somebody out there today if they're going to be learning a new language?
Well, actually, I have one approach to learn a new programming language, and I've used it many times, actually. So my approach is to start solving some algorithm problems. There are plenty websites with problems for you to solve. So you just start solving problems, and then you learn programming language features while you are learning how to implement those algorithms. So that's what I use. I think it's quite effective.
Good tip. Thank you. So you're going to be talking to us today about Fleet. We've already had quite a lot of interest in it from the chat that I've seen. It is, of course, the new IDE from JetBrains, and you are going to be talking about how to use many programming languages right up your street simultaneously with remote collaboration. And you're also going to take us through Fleet's distributed architecture and how it is especially helpful for users across the world. Sounds amazing. Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to add your screen and I'm going to remove myself, and Vitaly, have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Yes. Hello, everyone here. So I want to talk about JetBrains Fleet. But before I start talking about that, let me address one question, very important one. How to get invite for Fleet? Well, actually, I don't have a solution that will work 100%. I'm very sorry about that, unfortunately. So right now it's in closed preview program. You just subscribe at Fleet's webpage, jetbrains.com/Fleet, and then you just wait, and that's it. There are no better way to get into that program. So I'm very sorry, guys. No special invites for participants of this session. I myself am happy to use Fleet because I work at JetBrains. I have this chance. I don't have to participate in those closed preview programs. But yeah, sorry. Maybe someday it will be available for others. Well, it will be available for all people eventually. So let's talk about Fleet. I will start with sort of an introduction. What is Fleet about? And then I will show you one project which I developed specifically for this presentation. All right, so what is Fleet? At first, Fleet is an editor. So it's a text editor. You can run it on your machine. You have your source code and you can edit it without some fancy features. So it's not like in IDE, you just add some words to your code to remove something. There is basic syntax highlighting, stuff like that, but nothing special. The good news is that you can move to smart mode. And if you are there, so if you enable smart mode, then you just get the power of IDE. Actually, you can use code processing engines from IntelliJ IDEA, from PHP Storm, from ReSharper, and other JetBrains tools. You can also use some external language servers which implement LSP language server protocol, and I will show you examples of that. So this is smart mode. When you enable it, Fleet is not an editor anymore. It's a full-blown IDE. What is important about this IDE? Well, it supports remote development. You can run Fleet on your machine, but you can also run it on a remote machine or as we do it these days, you can run it in the cloud. And with all that power, with all those code processing tools, they don't take resources from your machine, you know, that's important. And of course, with this setup, you can run remote collaboration. Fleet is very good at that. So many users from around the world, they can connect to that remote machine, and then you just do your job together. In fact, it's not necessary to have a remote machine for doing this remote collaboration. And I will try to show that to you during this talk. One extremely important thing about Fleet is that it's a polyglot software. So we support quite a few languages right now. And I will try to show you some parts of that support. So there are many programming languages in this world, and as Helen said in the very beginning, I taught many of them, and I actually love all programming languages, and I will show you how to work with them during this presentation. And how is this all possible? Before going to actually presenting Fleet to you, I want to say several words about architecture. It's Fleet's architecture that enables all these features. So what do we actually have in Fleet? The central part of Fleet is workspace. It's a process which can be run on your machine or in some remote machine somewhere in the cloud. So it's a workspace, the main process for Fleet. And then there are front ends. There can be many of them. And editor is just one part of that front end. Apart from front ends, we also have code processing engines. Some of those code engines rely to the power of IntelliJ IDEA tools or ReSharper tools and everything else. Some of them rely to external LSP server providers. So all that stuff actually, well, file system stuff, we also have so-called file system daemon FSD here, and all those code engines, they can work on in the cloud. They can work on the remote machine, so you don't have to run all of that in your machine and to save your resources. So it's easy to use just front end on your machine. It shouldn't be, it can be not very powerful, and it works just fine. So thanks to this remote architecture, this distributed architecture, it's possible to implement all that. So that's why we have remote development built from scratch into Fleet. That's why we have the smart mode, because without smart mode, you just don't use all that power of code engine, but you can do something in your front end, in your editor. So this is Fleet, and this architecture makes it possible. If you are interested in some details, how Fleet actually works, how it is implemented, there is a series of blog posts, Fleet Below Deck, in the Fleet blog website. So please go there. There are several papers, and there will be more blog posts there in that series. So Fleet Below Deck. And I will not talk about architecture anymore. I will show you how you can use Fleet, how you can solve your problems with Fleet. And I will do that using one project, which I believe is very good for presenting several or many Fleet's features. So it's a distributed calculator. It's not my project. I actually adopted it, and I've added several parts to it. So let's get there. So, so this is project, distributed calculator. I will open just one file here, just image. This project uses Dapper framework. if you're familiar with that. I think it's a framework for developing distributed applications, for microservice applications, and I'm trying to use that because every microservice, when you use this framework, can be implemented in its own programming language, and that's why it's very convenient to showcase these polyglot features of Fleet. So that's why I've chosen that. Apart from that, Dapper is extremely good, extremely well documented. So this distributed calculator is actually just one quick start tutorial for Dapper. I extended it a little bit, but mostly it comes from Dapper documentation. And the goal of that project is to implement calculator. Yes, and they always use these 42. 42 is the answer, right, as usual. So our goal is to implement this particular thing, this calculator, and every arithmetic operation, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, will be implemented in separate microservice. All right. So we have this Fleet thing here on my screen, and hopefully you can see that. Let's look at it. What do we have right now? So we have central part. It's editor. So normally it's editor. Let's open some file here. For example, this make file. You can see some trivial syntax highlighting here. And it's just an editor. There is no smart mode yet here. So just some file, editor. And we can do some things with that central part. So we can, for example, we can use, I will use some commands here, like two columns mode, or we can use two rows mode, and we can get back to single layout here. And if we have several of them, we can, like, for example, we can refocus to this or that. So we can do things like that. I think I have to make the font a little bit bigger to make it convenient for you to see. Okay, so this is central part. Apart from central part, we have side panels. You can see here, you can see side panel for left part of the screen. You can also have bottom side panel and right side panel. So we can have it, we can remove it, we can enable them again. And there are tools for those side panels. We have debug tool, we'll see that. We have Docker, we have files, we have some Git operations, we have Git history, we have search, we have terminal. For example, we can run terminal right here for this project, and here is it. So we can write something, we can write our commands, like what I have? I have macOS operating system here, Darwin, sure. So editor and side panels, very easy, and some tools in those side panels. Of course, we have color themes, so we can do that, right? We can change something, like we have Fleet Light, like here. Sorry, Fleet Dark, and I prefer using this mode, which is synchronized with operating system. In macOS, it's very convenient. Sometimes I have, in the mornings, I use light theme, and in the evenings, I use dark themes. That's more convenient, I believe, but you can choose whatever you like. We may have a lot of different tabs here and there. For example, here we can navigate. So as usually in the editor, we can go to another something else. So we can there and back again. Editor, side panels. We also have go to window. Let's go to menu and start it. Like we have actions. Actions here is like your central place in Fleet. So you can do whatever you like from actions. About, of course, you can, and there are quite a few of them actually. Some of them are disabled at the moment because we didn't enable smart mode yet, but there are quite a few of them. And then you can go to the different parts of your project, like we were looking at the pictures, so you can see them, you can get back to them, you can look for everything in your class, in your modules, in your project, whatever you like. So go to actions, have tools. So those tools, you can open them inside panels. And of course, very powerful search in your project. So whatever you like. So this is central window, actually. You can run everything that you want to run in Fleet using this thing. Of course, we have preferences. There are no too many preferences at the moment. So let me remove that bottom panel. So theming, of course, zooming. Yeah, use these for presentation. So font size, as usual, some editor appearance options. I will show you results of that. You can enable soft wraps or you can disable them. And some code editing options, refactoring options, working with files, working with running and debugging. So as usual, these can be global or specifically set for your project. Here I have two projects open, distributed calculator and my pictures that I showed you in the very beginning. So we can give specific settings for them. It's quite easy to work with key map here. So Fleet is very, as I believe, is very good at using shortcuts. I should say that I never remember all the shortcuts. Like I know 5 of them, maybe 10, but that's enough for me. I prefer to use menus and actions menu. But if you're okay at remembering shortcuts, you have plenty to learn here. So you can see just a lot of stuff with shortcuts. I myself, I don't remember all that stuff. Sorry, guys. Okay. And as I already said, you can have several folders. This is another quite important concept of Fleet. So we have several folders, and you can add even more if you want. We don't need that right now. So it's like several projects, and you can work on them simultaneously. And that's, well, that's something, it can be different folders for different projects and different programming languages, or it actually can be one folder with several programming languages. Like here, I use many programming languages, and it's just work. All right. So let's get back to our distributed calculator project. So the main idea behind this project is as follows. So we have several operations in our calculator: addition, and it's just one microservice; subtraction, another microservice; and all other operations. And actually several operations, some operations are implemented using 2 programming languages. I did that to make it funnier to use. And then apart from that, this Dapper thing, it has some framework, it has a runtime system. Everything is installed right now, so I don't have to install it. It's installed locally. The good thing is that it's very easy to use different programming languages in Dapper and with Fleet. So they're quite good looking together. All right, so what is this application? I will start with running front end. Yes, I won't show you the code right now, but I will show you how does it work. So follow me. I just run, I pressed Command R to open this window, and then I want to run this front-end system. It's Dapper service. It's implemented with React. I know nothing about React. Sorry again, but yeah, I taught JavaScript like 20 years ago, and I don't remember anything. So this is front end. What I know is that it works at localhost. So let me run localhost here. It's a website. Here is it. It works. That's great. So I will use this browser here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This application. This is a calculator, really. It doesn't work at the moment, I should say, because we run only front end, but there is no actual backend for it. Like if I try to say like 2 plus 3, and it doesn't work, of course, but I see some error in the terminal. Okay, well, we can do that. So I can run something else. So let me fix it, pin it here. So we'll look at it from time to time. All right. So let me run some adder. I have 2 other adder implementations, one in Java and one in Go. Let's run one for Go. And if it works, then it should be, now it should work. Let's try. I will press equals once again. And yes, it works. And this adder reports me that, well, it was doing adding 2 plus 3. And I also have some service here. So what is actually microservice here in this Dapper architecture? It's a program with web server. It's a REST application. And every microservice just answer one command, one HTTP command, like post, and then add or multiply or something like that. So this is our application, and then I will run other microservices. So for example, for subtraction, I have C# microservice. I will run it. And then I also have all others. Oh, by the way, we can. So for multiplication, I have Rust and Python. Let's run Rust, doesn't matter. For division, I have Kotlin and Node.js. Let's run Kotlin. And now we can see how it actually works. Like, let's say 2 minus 3 equals to minus 1. Great. 2 multiplied by 3 equals to 6. And if I go to adder, we have this. In C#, we have this. In multiplicator, we have this. So everything is logged, everything works. And I also have special script to check all that, all those services. I call it verify. And here we are. It's a small test for those REST microservices. So everything works just fine. What are those run configurations here? Let's look at them. So when I try to run them, maybe I won't need this right now. So every service is actually one entry in configuration file. Here is it. So this is my configuration. Let's close terminal right now. So it's very easily configured. So I use mostly commands, and they have names like here. They have some program to run. I call .NET for C#, working directory, environmental variables. We can set them. And then arguments for this command. That's what we actually need. And all other commands here in this run configuration file, in the big JSON file, they're actually about that. Some of them are small, like here, we don't need all that stuff. By the way, there is some code completion right here. We can add working directory, for example. So we never enabled smart mode yet, but we can work with that because for JSON, we use some schema-based completion right on front end without any code processing agent. So you can do that. Let's remove that. We don't need that right now. So configurations are just very simple thing. It's just JSON file with everything that you need to run your program. So I just showed you a lot of things without actually enabling smart mode. And one more thing without smart mode. So let me run Docker tool. Here's it, my Docker tool. I can connect to all those Dapper Docker images. So for example, let's open terminal for Redis, because Dapper uses Redis for keeping its state. Just go here, and it's in that container. So I can run Redis CLI. I can ask for all keys that are saved in that CLI, and here is it. And I think I can use something from that. Yeah, right. Here. But here is some information about that application. And just look, we have 6 here, and we have 6 as a total in Redis. So everything is saved. So when you use this React app, everything is saved in Redis. And you can explore that right in the in Fleet. All right. So let's go out of here. Go out of here. And now I will also remove side panels because my font is quite big and I need everything in my editor. Now let's go to our code. We are ready for that. For example, subtraction is made by .NET application. I think we don't need that calculator right now, so let's remove it. Just unpin it. So it's an editor, so you can edit code, but it's not very smart at the moment. Like there is no some H over information, there is no code completion yet. In order to have that, let's enable smart mode. Here's the button. I press enable, and it starts doing a lot of things regarding connecting to all those code engine available in Fleet. And when I go to other parts of code, like right now, it will synchronize projects and stuff like that. Let's go over other files. So apart from C#, I also have Go here. So this is Go application. And when I come into this file, Fleet starting warming up itself for working with Go. I also have Java application. It's here. So if I go to Java source code, Fleet will be ready to work with Java code. It's here. All right. So I can go to Kotlin projects, and then it's usual projects like Gradle you can see here. So whatever you have in your Kotlin project is here, like some Kotlin files. And by the way, while I'm coming here, you can see that syntax highlighting is a little bit changing. That because of smart mode, and smart mode adds to syntax highlighting. I also have Node project. That's for, I think, for multiplication. And I also have Python. Of course, Python. I love Python very much. And React calculator, something with Node.js again and React, JavaScript, and also have Rust. And all these languages are actually supported by Fleet. Unfortunately, I don't have an example for PHP. Like PHP is a language I wrote actually a whole website in, but it was again 20 years ago. All right, so we have a lot of languages supported right now, and we can do a lot of things with those languages. So, of course, Fleet is updating indices, but just imagine. So it has to update a lot of things about all the programming languages I have in my project. And I have 7 of them. So it's quite a huge job for Fleet. All right, so let's get back to C#. What can we do with C#? Like, we can look at documentation for C# classes, like console. You can see it represents standard input, and so on and so forth. You can use navigating around your code. For example, here, let's go. What is this appearance about? Well, it's just a file here in this project. Here is it. I can go to usages where it's used. And it turns out that we have 2 usages in one file. So this one, I love this preview very much. So we can just go here or there. So sometimes we don't need to go to that file because we know everything right here. All right, but let's go there. Here is the usage for operand 1. So we can do all that stuff. Okay. So it works, and of course it works with code completion. Right now, for example, if I want to write something else, so for console, I can do write line. I'm not a C# programmer by no means, but I can do that with Fleet. So that's great. All right, and it looks like, I think, as I know C#, I don't. So let's try to something different. Let's go to Kotlin, for example. So we have Kotlin here. So this is my application. Kotlin is responsible for divisions in this project, and it uses Cato library for routing web requests. And let's see, what can we do with this? Of course, we can have all that stuff with goto, and we can find usages and whatever. But I want to show you debugging in Kotlin first. So to do debugging, let's do something interesting. Right now, I will stop Kotlin debugger, which was run by Dapper. So I'll just stop it. And if I verify services at this moment, then there will be no division service. You can see it here. But to debug something in Kotlin application, you don't actually need Dapper. You can run it as usual application. So let's try to do that. I want to debug, remember. So I run this debugger. And what it does at the moment, it connects to something, some magic about debugging. Let's open the tool for debugging. Here is it. Okay, you see we are connected to this application here. And now I think we want to put some breakpoint here. So we want to stop at this line and to explore what we actually got here. All right. So I think let's try to rerun verify services. Okay. Some problem here, it doesn't connect. Let me try it again. So let's stop it right now. That's, by the way, that's something that you can have when you are not 100% ready for release. And as we said, Fleet is in closed preview program right now. So I'm trying to do that once again to connect to it. And I think no, No, that's a problem. Okay, it doesn't work right now. Sorry, guys, sorry about that. So things happen. So let me try it the third time. Maybe I will be lucky at this time. Okay, run it. I connect it to this app. Try it again. No. Well, I'm very sorry. No debugging for today. All right. Things happen. I have something else to share with you, so that's not a problem. So we have Kotlin service. Let's rerun it once again just to check that we are on the safe side. So I rerun dapr Kotlin service, and then I check that all services are all right. Let's look at another programming language. So let's look at Java. So that's enough for Kotlin. Let me close all those tabs, and I'll go for Java right now. What Java is doing? Java is doing addition. So let's replace Go addition with Java addition. Addition, Java. We have Java. All right. And with this Java, let's verify services once again. What is that? Let's close that. Let's close that divider and run this one. Of course, yeah. Let's verify services. And it looks like we have a problem. Yeah, Kotlin didn't start it yet. That's fine. But what about addition? Like I have this Java, and it does something, but unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. Once again, so too many problems, too many problems with this programming. So Java doesn't work. So Kotlin divider is okay right now, but Java doesn't work. Okay, let's get back to. No, things happen when you do programming. When you do programming, and I do that for 20 years. I know that things are happening. Okay, so this is my application. What's going on with Java? Java 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3. What is 2 plus 3? That should be 5, I believe. What? Minus 1? What's going on? Well, let's try again. Like 5 plus 6, it should be 11. Minus 1. I don't understand what's going on. And the problem is, folks, the problem is that last time I learned Java was like 1998, I think. I don't know Java. Who can help me? Or maybe Helen, I'm here. Helen is hosting me.
Hi, Vitaly.
Helen, I know that you're a specialist in Java. Is that right?
It's right. You do seem to be having some problems.
Well, yes, it's 2 plus 3. It's not minus 1.
How can I help?
I have problems. All this talk, no debugging, no addition. That's awful. Well, we have a remote collaboration tool actually, so let's do something about that.
Okay.
I will start a session here. Maybe you can help me with this. And here is this invitation link is copied, and I will send it to you via private channels because
private channels. All right.
It should be very secret. So
I'm waiting to see which private channel you choose for me today. Okay, I'm going to select your super private link. I did get that. I'm connecting to your workspace.
Okay, and now we can approve full access. Of course, I trust Helen. Approve.
Shocking.
Here you are. Could you share with us what is going on your machine right now? Oh, so, I see you. I see you, Helen.
There you go. Hello. I am in your workspace, and I have gone to my project window, and the shortcut is the same as IntelliJ, which makes me very happy. I I'm gonna just go and have a look at your implementation and see if I can.
I have application for Java, and maybe I think I have also addition helper here. So
Let me take a look. Let's see if we can figure this out.
yeah.
Addition. Oh, Vitaly, I can see the problem.
Oh, really? So quickly?
It's there staring me in the face.
What?
You're performing a minus operation instead of an addition.
No, I have plus here.
Honestly,
What?
line
I have
13.
plus here.
No, look on line 13.
Oh, I see now. I see.
May I have?
Sure. Help me, please. Help.
It is done. It is done.
Well, let's check. Please bear with me. Let's check that. I don't believe that it's so simple. You know. What should we do? We should actually. We should run Java service again. Should rerun it. Okay. So let's see. Addition for Java. Let's run it again. Here we are.
It's going
so
to
it
work.
should be recompiled, and let's see, 2 plus 3, and it works. Magic. Helen, thank you very much. You saved me. Without you, this talk would be a disaster. Thank you very much.
Best of luck.
By the way, one more thing. Let's verify it. I have my testing system. No, just something is because I've stopped all those services. It's working. 54. All right, what's going on? All the things. All right, but still it works. Thank you very much, Helen.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'll try to continue. All right. So let's do a little bit of postmortem here. I have tests actually in my Java application. So let's look at those tests. Here we are with all those tests, and I can run them. And what about them? Initializing, stuff like that. So usual Gradle thing to run all them. And it's okay. No problems with tests. Okay, so what we are testing? We're testing, well, as usually, we never tested this functionality about addition. So that's the problem. That's what we usually do. So we should test everything and not just something that works. All right. So we're saved by Helen here, but well, let's see. So we have this change, and I'm going to the Git, and I want to let's remove terminals right here. So this was the change. This was the change. I had minus, and then Helen put plus here. Okay, let's commit that change. Fix Java. Okay, I've committed it. And I think I can synchronize it. Okay, here we have synchronize button. Let's synchronize it with servers. Yes, server. It should be on the server right now. Okay. Whew, that was kind of hard to fix that and to analyze that. All right. Java, Kotlin, what else do we have here? Well, let's look at other languages and other features. Okay, Python. Let's look at Python. I have some experience with Python. So let's look what Fleet can give us in Python. Something is underlined. Okay, of course, PEP 8. Let's quick fix that, because that's what we do when we use tools from JetBrains. We have two options. We can reformat the file, or we can ignore errors like this. And it's Python. It's not Java, it's not Kotlin, it's Python. One feature which I like a lot is previewing fixes. Like, let me press Command P, and we can use previews here. So it can give us more lines. And of course, for ignoring, it's impossible. Yeah, let's reformat this file. Okay, now it is better. What else do we have? And here it's also fixed. So we can work with Python and we can use quick fixes. All right, something else. Go. What about Go? Go is a great language. I love Go. Oh, I told you that I love all programming language actually, but I love Go too. Okay, we have something here. What's about this? It's an handled error. By the way, for Go, everything works like JSON. What is this JSON? And it's some object. Here's its method, new decoder, and we can get a lot of information about that. So what about this decode? Let's quick fix that. We can handle error, as usually in Go, you can handle errors, you can ignore them. That's not what we are doing. Well, maybe it's easier to do right now. We can ask not to report this method. I'm not a Go programmer, but well, I like this one actually. It's easier to fix. Okay, now it's fixed. Maybe it's not the right approach when you do Go programming, but it's good for me right now. Let's quick fix here too. Maybe we can handle. Okay, let's ignore once again. It's easier. Okay, doesn't want to ignore it. All right, then let's handle. We do what we can do. All right. So a lot of help here. Rust. I admire Rust. You know, sometimes I work as a Rust developer advocate, so we can do things for Rust. For Rust, we have operands. We can do. Do we have any problems here? No, actually, it's pre-land code without any problems, and it works. What is app? It's some top level builder for an Actix web application, and this is also HTTP server. All right, so these are many languages that we can use when we are working with Fleet. Let me try debugging again. Maybe it will work now. Maybe I am happy. Maybe I'll be lucky this time. So that's what I want to do. So this is Fleet. I will put this here and I will run debug. This is it. It will be recompiled and I start it. And then I will open debugging tool. And now we'll try to verify. No, okay. Sorry about that. Fleet is not 100% ready, as I've said, but I think what we've seen here is quite amazing. And I have a little bit more time for doing something else. So let me close this Fleet thing. And I will show you our space application. Here is it. I have an environment, which I want to activate. And my idea is to run this development environment from the cloud, from our space application, somewhere in the cloud. I don't know, it's Amazon Web Services or somewhere definitely outside my machine. And what I want to do actually right now is to run Fleet from there. That's what I was talking in the very beginning about. So now my workspace is going to run on a remote machine somewhere in the cloud, and I will just open it. Okay. So let me see, where is Fleet? Here is it. It's initializing workspace right now. Okay. It takes some time, usually, so it's not a very fast thing. So So it's initializing. It takes a lot of time because I've chose a very powerful machine with a lot of stuff there. And the idea is to run everything in the cloud so that I don't need Docker, I don't need all those services here on my machine, so I can use not very powerful machine. All right, so here we are. Hopefully it works. And it's the same project we had. And let's look at history here. Here we are. I have some commits. And we can do almost the same here. So let me open the terminal. Here we are. I can say docker init. I didn't do that on my machine because it was already ready for that. Oh, it's actually initialized already. Okay, let me run front end. And this front end is not on my machine. It's on other machine, on some remote machine. But I can easily look at it using one important Fleet feature. I think that's the last feature I can share with you today. So it's 8080, and I want to get my local machine port. Here we are, 62543. Great. And where is my calculator? Here it is. And I will write, sorry for the font size, it's not that big here and it's not customizable. 62503. Here we are. And it doesn't work right now because there are no services. 2 plus 3. No, it doesn't work. It's an error. But with the same configuration, I can run some EDA. And now it runs on the server. So again, no, my machine is involved in that. And I can try it again. And it works. So this is remote development. And I believe that's all that I wanted to share with you about Fleet. So from my experience, it's a very nice product. Well, things happen. You saw the problems here, but that's fine. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Vitaly. That was wonderful, and hopefully our kind audience forgave our little addition show there. There have been quite a lot of questions, so I'm just going to get through a couple of them. I know our YouTube moderator's done a fantastic job of answering many of them, but first one, how about running shell commands in the editor, having output of commands instantly available in the editor to help editing new commands? So I think that one's, yeah, sorry, go on.
I don't think that we have that right now, if I understand correctly. So, but you know, Fleet is a thing and is a work in progress. So maybe we should think about that. So that's a good idea.
Piece of feedback. Right. Talking of feedback, thank you, Vladimir. The icons in the side panel look awesome. So thank you for that. Another question. If we use Code with Me with Fleet, do we still need to download a secondary IDE, or will both the host and the client be able to use Fleet directly?
As far as I understand, Code with Me is a separate product. And when you work with Fleet, you use Fleet remote collaboration features. So it's not about Code with Me. Code with Me is fine when you work with IntelliJ IDEA, if I'm not mistaken. So all this remote collaboration stuff in Fleet is just homegrown Fleet collaboration stuff. So I think it's a little bit different.
Thank you. I think this next question potentially comes from a user of our IDEs already. When will Fleet become extensible with custom plugins? I'm guessing we don't have a date for that.
Well, we don't have a date. We don't have a date, but eventually it will. Absolutely, no doubt. But I don't have a date, sorry. But I hope for that too, because well, it's really important to have that that stuff. Like then we could support Haskell in Fleet, for example, with external plugin. I am waiting for that.
Okay. Next one is something I know is close to your heart. Can it replace IntelliJ IDEA?
I think Fleet is not designed to replace IntelliJ IDEA. So what I've showed you here is IDE for working with polyglot projects, with stuff like that. But I don't think that when you have a project in Java or in Kotlin, all in one language, that Fleet will be enough for your experience. So I believe, from my point of view, it's not a fictional statement from JetBrains, by the way, by no means. So what I feel, for me, like when I have this dedicated project in one language, it's great to use IDEA or maybe C-Line with all that stuff and that very powerful IDE. But if you want to do something quickly, to edit something, to check something, then Fleet is great. So it's not a replacement as I see it. It's a very nice addition. So that's what I think.
Complementary. Wonderful.
Complementary, exactly.
Well, we are almost out of time. So apologies, we've not got through all of your questions. Again, I know our YouTube moderators are actively answering as many as they can get through. But Vitaly, thank you so much. Are there any closing comments or questions or thoughts from yourself?
Yes, I have one thought that I want to share with you. Please learn many programming languages. They're so nice. One programming language is not enough. Two is not enough. Like 3, 4, 5. They're so great. Learn programming languages. That's
Thank you.
Just advice from me.
Good takeaway. Again,
and use Fleet. Use Fleet for them.
Thank
when
you.
You're able to.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, Vitaly, thank you. I'm going to remove you from the stream. Thank you so much.